McLean! Smack. Lance's head snapped up from where it had been lying on the desk. Drool smeared all over one side of his face and made everyone in the class snicker. He was sweating like a pig, and he was having a tough time getting a full breath. Iverson stood towering above him with his favorite flexible tin ruler. Is my lecture on gravitational forces that far above your head? Or do you actually know what I'm talking about? Lance let his eyes wander around the room. His peers' faces blurred together in a hypnotic mush before he bent over and hurled all over Iverson's shoes. His leg was fine. He was alive. His back felt icy and prickly cold in the absence of the intense heat he'd just been exposed to, and his leg felt numb. But the memory was fresh and very real. How was he back? There was no way all of that was a dream. No way. No one dreams all that unless they're crazy. Was he crazy? Was this the start of his ultimate decline? Boy! Don't come to class if you're sick, Iverson roared, but Lance's ears were already ringing from the pressure of an explosion that may or may not have happened. Head to the nurse's station. We don't want your germs. It took a moment for Iverson's words to make sense. Lance turned in his desk and tried to stand, but his knees gave out and he fell to the floor. It was an effort to not hurl again. Was it relief? Was it fear? Lance took several deep breaths, as deep as he could get them. The last thing he wanted, or needed at the moment, was to start crying. Nope, he wasn't going to do that. A kid sitting next to him helped him to his feet and held him steady while he tried to figure out how to balance again. The ground didn't want to stay still any more than his gut wanted to stay inside his body. I'll take him down, the kid said, as he led Lance out of the room. Lance frowned. He used to know every single kid in class. The hall was deserted, thankfully. Any living moving targets would have really activated his gag reflex. What was this guy's name again? Dude, you looked fine this morning, the kid said, and actually sounded worried. We were just goofing off 10 minutes ago. Paul? No? Steve? Nope. Thanks, Lance said, noticing the kid hadn't let go of his arm. Good thing too, because the world was still spinning. Was his name Frank? I hope you feel better in time for the simulator tomorrow. Can we not talk? Lance asked, shuddering. It wasn't so much that he couldn't remember the guy's name, but the familiarity of the word simulator and his surroundings were making him even more sick to his stomach. He wasn't supposed to be there. Where was Hunk? Was he okay? Pidge? Did shutting the door help Shiro or not? Was Keith okay? Dude, breathe! Lance bent over as he realized his getting caught in a hole had probably killed everyone. A hole. Why couldn't he have just gotten shot or stabbed like a normal person? Why had it been something so stupid? Hey, Gunderson, could you help me out here? Lance whipped his head around to see Pidge carrying a stack of papers. Without missing a beat, Lance launched himself in her direction and wrapped his arms around her middle while falling to the floor, this time with relief. You're okay? Ah! I'm so glad you're okay, Lance cried, not caring anymore that he was sobbing now. I'm really sorry. Pidge looked up in a panic at the other cadet, who shrugged. She had been on her way to deliver class reports to her division leader. He's sick, the nameless cadet said. I was taking him over to the nurse. He must be sicker than we thought. Pidge held the papers firmly against her chest as she looked down at her sobbing pilot. Why had she been paired with such a weirdo? It was great that he was dense and hadn't figured out her secret yet, but holy crow was he annoying. Think you could help me out? The cadet pleaded. Since it didn't look like Lance was going to let go anytime soon, she sighed and said she would. Somehow, with the others' help, they were able to reposition Lance so they could drag him to the nurses' department. He sniffed and kept asking how everyone was. He also kept apologizing. She didn't answer because she didn't know what he was talking about. Finally, they reached the office and, with the nurse's help, the three of them were able to pry him off. The cadet thanked Pidge and she hurried away as fast as she could,